Good morning. This is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated Journato morning headlines on April 5, 2022. Viktor Orban adds Zelensky to his list of overpowered opponents. Brown bear population in Pyrenees highest for a century, says study. The Guardian, saved from extinction, brown bears return to the Pyrenees in largest number for a century. Two more Republicans back Ketanji Brown Jackson for Supreme Court. The Guardian, Ketanji Brown Jackson headed for Supreme Court as Romney, Murkowski and Collins joined Democrats. The Independent, Senate to decide on Jackson after panel deadlocks. Reuters, opinion, Republican excuses for rejecting Ketanji Brown Jackson are absurd. The Washington Post, Ketanji Brown Jackson confirmation vote is making history, says Senator, as it happened. The end of your life will be behind bars, Zelensky warns Russian leaders, video. The Guardian, Zelensky says Russian war crimes in Ukraine make negotiations harder. Reuters, Zelensky calls for more aid from Western allies. The Independent, negotiations with Russia made more difficult by atrocities carried out by troops, Zelensky. The Irish Times, the end of your life will be behind bars, Zelensky warns Russian leaders. Ukraine war, mass graves, evidence of torture and bodies in basements, the Bucha left behind by Russian troops. Red Cross says its team is being held close to Mariupol in Ukraine. Reuters, April 4, 2022 Russia-Ukraine news. CNN, Ukraine Live News, Russia accused of genocide in Bucha. Moscow denies killing civilians. Putin's troops complete pullback from areas in north. Sky News, Ukraine says Russian forces are blocking ICRC's Mariupol evacuation efforts. Reuters, April 3, 2022 Russia-Ukraine news. Rodrigo Chaves wins Costa Rica election amid sexual harassment allegations. The Guardian, Costa Rica elects anti-establishment candidate as president. Financial Times, ex-finance minister wins runoff to be Costa Rica's president. The Independent, newsmaker unheralded Costa Rican economist's unlikely path to presidency. Reuters Canada, pro-market economist wins Costa Rica presidential election. Bird populations in Panama rainforest in severe decline, study finds. Sanctions on Russia must stay till all troops leave Ukraine, says Liz Truss. The Guardian, Liz Truss, we must inflict new wave of punishments on Vladimir Putin after Bucha atrocities. The Telegraph, Truss calls for tough approach with Russia as Ukraine demands weapon resupply. The Independent, war crimes have taken place in Ukraine, says Liz Truss. Guardian News, we will not rest until Putin fails and Ukraine prevails, Foreign Secretary's speech in Warsaw. This is inhumane, the cost of zero COVID in Shanghai. The Guardian, Shanghai lockdown tests the limits of Xi Jinping's zero COVID policy. Financial Times, COVID-19, no end in sight for Shanghai lockdown as cases surge even higher. Sky News, drone footage shows deserted Shanghai as city of 26 million people remains in lockdown. Guardian News, China sends military and health workers to Shanghai in biggest ever public response to COVID crisis. Sacramento shooting, all 6 victims identified. BBC, Sacramento, hunt continues for multiple shooters who opened fire on crowd and killed 6 people. Sky News, victims in California shooting remembered for warm hearts. The Independent, Solano County father of 4 among Sacramento mass shooting victims. Patch, Sacramento shooting, 1 arrest made after 6 shot dead. Ukraine war, US seizes mega yacht owned by Russian oligarch with close ties to Vladimir Putin. Sky News, Spanish police search sanctioned Russian oligarch's £70 million superyacht in Mallorca. Guardian News, FBI raids £91 million luxury yacht of Putin oligarch ally in Mallorca, we are coming for your ill-begotten gains. City AM, US and Spain seize $99 million superyacht owned by Vladimir Putin's billionaire ally. The Telegraph, Spanish police and FBI seize superyacht in Mallorca linked to Putin ally. Explainer, could Vladimir Putin be prosecuted for war crimes? The Guardian, Dispatch, inside Russian troops abandon site at Bucha close to mass grave, Ukraine. The Telegraph, emotional Zelensky visits Bucha after war crimes by Vladimir Putin's forces. Evening Standard, Russia leaves a trail of atrocities in Ukraine. Financial Times, will Putin ever be held responsible for the atrocities we're seeing in Bucha? This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.